You're listening to
Hot Sauce Sports with Mo Cohen, Peeze and Terry Tam.
I now know that I'm on with a spy, depending on who's the captain of this ship. And that's probably a bad thing if this podcast is supposed to go viral, isn't it?
Qadr Patterson like grabbing some shanks, gentleman here. And I quote, "I'm a grown man. I don't need nobody blank in my balls in my face."
In my teenage years, I'd get back from high school, I'd smash 2 pizza pockets. Carmelo Anthony never learned you can't live life just smashing pizza pockets.
Because he lost a double bet, what I did is I cut a jalapeno in half, and I filled it with hot sauce. So he's going to have to slurp this down.
Why you give me a fucking banana, dude? I'm not eating a banana. I'll rather piss in my mouth than eat this.
Okay, so there we go. Stop stalling. Let's go. Let's go.
now. Here are your hosts, Mo, Terry, and Peeze.
Welcome, everyone. You are listening to and perhaps watching Hot Sauce Sports. I have a terrible issue.
That was a very sexy voice.
Yeah, there we go. So I have an issue because we do all our stuff. Like, if we pull back the curtain a second, we do all our stuff like Google Docs, Google Sheets, all that stuff.
Yeah. It is. It's just you didn't update the title, but everything else is updated.
No, but it wasn't updated on my phone. It had literally the topics. I didn't know what the first topic was. I was like, this is going to be an interesting show.
I had the exact same problem when I loaded it up.
And I was like
I
staring
was
at
like,
it.
this isn't right.
We're running out of music. Eagle starts singing. I'm the host of Hot Sauce Sports.
Nobody
Peeze
wants to hear
Reese.
Eagles sing.
Sorry?
Nobody wants to hear Eagles sing.
That's true. That's true. It's pretty, can you beatbox? So no was the answer. You could just said no. You could just said no. That's our producer Eagle, Terry Tam. Eclair Terry. Finally learning what an eclair is. Do you know why I call you Eclair Terry?
What?
You know why I call you Eclair Terry?
Because I am. I don't know.
All right. A friend of mine, he says, who are you doing the show with? I said, my buddy Terry. And so he said, is it Scary Terry? Scary Terry, the reference from Rick and Morty.
Sure. Never watched that episode.
And I said, it should. It's good.
I know. I heard.
I said, no, he's actually not scary. He's like the opposite scary. Like
Clary
Terry. So that's why you're a Clary Terry, because you're a nice guy.
For people who don't know what Eagle looks like, he looks very close to Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, if Mark Wahlberg was a horrible mistake that happened in the childbirthing process.
And if Mark Wahlberg's testicles haven't dropped yet.
Yeah, and if his mom was banging crystal meth the entire pregnancy.
You guys laugh. I got woken up on a red eye from Arizona back to Montreal by someone sitting next to me saying, "Excuse me, are you Mark Wahlberg?" And I was like, would I be sitting in the back of a plane on a red eye from Arizona if I was Mark Wahlberg?
Mark Wahlberg is also like 5'10".
If you know about Mark Wahlberg, you might though, because that could have been just a crazy weekend.
Mark Wahlberg is he's a fascinating human being.
Mm-hmm.
He's also super jacked, so I don't know how the hell
you are not. But speaking of super jacked,
nice biceps.
See, super jacked and weird guy, Jose Canseco, man, this dude is amazing.
He's beautiful.
Have you ever followed Eagle? While I'm talking about the story, if you can dig up some awesome tweets by Jose Canseco at any point in this timeline, it would be awesome. Right now, he's selling excursions to see alien or Bigfoot sites.
Fire Festival.
Yeah.
So it's funny because this is the first one I pulled up. Go on a Bigfoot and alien excursion with Jose Canseco. Contact Morgan Management and there's a phone number.
So I'm not interested in Bigfoot or alien sightings. I don't care. If they're there, they're there. They literally don't affect my life unless I get probed by either one. The one I don't want to be probed by is Bigfoot because big feet.
Exactly.
Means,
His Twitter profile picture is actually Obi-Wan Kenobi, but with his face. That's pretty awesome.
It's kind of awesome.
He's a legend, this guy, man. He's a legend.
So... But I'm interested in going just because it's Jose Canseco, right? Like, there's no way that's not awesome, right?
I mean, the guy, he's jacked to the gills.
Mm-hmm.
He's be fucking beaut on Twitter. Means his one-liners are sick, and his book was actually hilarious if you read it.
Yeah, I did, and
it's hilarious because of the dumb shit that he says.
He's a crazy person.
Yeah, he's not stable.
No, but he was right. He was it was the imperfect messenger. We're going to talk about imperfect messenger later today, but. He was right about baseball, right? It's just that nobody wanted to hear it from crazy ass Jose Canseco. You guys some Eagle?
Yeah. So I was just scrolling through his feed. You would not need borders if conditions in other countries were better. But then he follows that up with, "You don't need a wall. You need android robots."
Drone strikes.
Amazing.
Drone strikes.
Amazing.
And then invest in space travel.
Is he being sarcastic?
I don't think so.
No. I'm telling you,
Okay, we're gonna have Jose Canseco tweet of the week.
Yeah.
As of next week.
Yeah. Eagle, you now have more jobs.
Tweet of the week for sure.
But we have a full week of news.
Yes, we
so
do.
we'll get that. And we're stripped down. We don't have one of our producers.
Fuck him.
He's in the Dominican Republic.
He's enjoying his life. Instead of here with us.
For those watching the show, it's a little bit stripped down graphically from what we usually do. We actually get a lot more views right now on YouTube than we get on Spotify.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, so we need to find a way. I know that like this is like way too behind the curtain and no one's actually interested except us. But we don't ever actually have meetings, so we need to find a way.
We have a group
where
chat.
We can like collect all of the views and listens in one place, and then it's far more impressive.
Of course, yeah. Because when you split them up, it's like, all right, what are these guys doing it for?
Let's get the news. My favorite weekend of the year.
What?
My favorite sports weekend of the year. Has nothing to do with sports.
This weekend?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Want to know why?
No.
Okay. Conversation over. Thanks, Terry. You're the worst teammate ever.
I'm not gonna set you up.
All right. Well, I'll set myself
Just
up.
do you, bro.
The reason why is because this is the weekend that all NBA stars market their shoes.
Okay.
And I love shoes.
Okay.
I have a problem.
Really?
I have too many pairs of shoes.
How many?
I want to say upwards of 30. I have a spreadsheet. I'm not joking. And then I have like
He
I
sent it
have
to me.
about 30, I'd say. I don't wear them all though.
yeah, well, I mean, it depends. So I have like a spreadsheet with the ones I also need to buy with a priority list and the ones that need to be replaced.
Ah.
Yeah.
So what do you do with the old ones?
I
You
actually
wait till this weekend so you buy a new pair?
yeah, no. I tend to give them. I have there's like a donation center. in
Oh,
my
okay,
area,
that's
so
cool.
I tend to give those.
I don't know who the fuck would wear your smelly ass feet.
Well, people that don't have a choice, Terry. Rich ass Terry Tam over here. Excuse me. But like, have you seen any of them?
Bourgeoisie. I saw one. It was whose was it? It was like yellow and purple. I forgot whose was. Maybe it was LeBron's. But no, I don't really pay attention to this shit.
All right. Well, there's one. My favorite one so far, and I can't open the link. This is so far the show. We need all of our production team.
Clearly, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. But there's like the Kobe draft day prototype
Oh, okay.
are sweet.
Okay,
They're
maybe it was
really
those
nice.
ones then.
They're like blue or I'm not good with colors because colorblind. I believe they're blue and white.
Colorblind.
The link on the script doesn't work.
Kobe draft day
prototype.
shoes.
They're just nice. And then there's the new Jordan ones
These
that
ones?
came out. Yes, love them.
Not bad.
Love them.
I like them.
There's the green Jordan ones that just came out. the new
Okay, yeah.
ones.
I think those are the ones that I seen.
Yeah, they're nice. They're nice.
But what is it with that jersey that they're doing where you can change the number?
Yeah, so for the ultimate bandwagon fan, it's like a nondescript jersey. You can change the number and play team player.
Pretty cool because
Yeah.
sometimes I don't buy a jersey.
Yeah.
Like, what if he's not on the team anymore? And then it's going to be
I don't even
obsolete.
think it's a team jersey. I think it's just a generic jersey,
Yeah.
and it changes player name.
But I guess they can get it in different teams. No?
Yeah, I don't know. The one I saw was just a black jersey.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy.
But
The
then
NBA is great at this kind of stuff, though. They're great at.
they're also
marketing.
great at losing money because when you buy a jersey and it's obsolete,
You
then
say
buy
that.
another one.
You say that though, and this is how it ties into our next topic, which we'll get to in a second. But Adam Silver took a league that was making $4.8 billion and it's making over $9 billion.
No, he's great.
I mean,
obviously, I think
They know what they're doing.
yeah.
I don't always see it, but they know what they're doing. Do you watch any of the NBA All-Star Weekend?
I usually watch the 3-point challenge, 3-point shootout, whatever you want to call it. 3-point challenge?
3-point,
what it is?
3-point challenge, yeah. The dunk contest kind of wears on me. I don't find it interesting.
I won't tune in to watch. I'll watch it like on the
I'll watch the
highlights.
highlights, yeah.
So-
But I like the Rising Stars game.
Oh, the
I find
Rising
that's
Stars
fun.
game. Yeah, that's actually better. I didn't watch it though.
It is better. I saw a bit of it this morning because I'm an old man. I fell asleep way too early last night.
There's a lot of good players.
I
in that team.
ate too much lobster thermidor, but you know how much
What does
lobster
a lobster thermidor? Why are you eating
I ordered
thermidors?
extra thermidor because I didn't know what
What's
it
a
was.
thermidor?
No, it's a recipe.
You know what I'm thinking it is?
Yeah.
A thermostat.
It is not a thermostat.
You ate
It's just a
thermos-
lot of cream. It's the heaviest thing in the world.
You ate mercury. Is what you
Yeah,
did.
I was in retrograde. So the Rising Stars game was great. Kuzma went off. I
Yeah.
made you wonder why LeBron wants to get rid of him so much.
Because he can get bigger names because he's so good.
Yes.
And LeBron is like, nice. Play well, sir. Play well so I can send you off to another fucking team.
But let's get into the NBA trade deadline. So that's come and gone.
Yes.
As expected.
Very active.
The big trade didn't happen. But what happened instead is teams start to panic. And I found now that LeBron is not in the East,
Yeah.
teams in the East did a lot to try and stay competitive or get
Of
more
course, yeah.
competitive.
Well, that's what he said too, right?
Yeah.
He said now they all think they have a chance because I'm not there anymore. You know,
I mean,
a little more modesty.
but like since he's been in the league, he's been to every finals. Like this will be the first one in like over a decade that
Really?
he doesn't. Yeah, Eagle, find out how many consecutive finals LeBron has played in. And till now, he was always representing the East.
Fuck, we don't talk about him like we talk about Tom Brady.
8 consecutive NBA finals.
Yeah,
8 consecutive. That's crazy.
so almost a decade. My
and it was
mistake.
with 2 teams.
with 2 teams. Back
3
and forth.
technically.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's nuts. I mean,
He's not getting to a 9th one.
no, I don't think he's gonna get there either. But he's trying to get it. And I think that in the East, you see teams like Boston at the beginning of the year, you thought they would make it, and then maybe Toronto, with Kawhi. I think Toronto, even though I'm a huge hater, they really they made a real big push.
And getting rid of the Valanciunas contract is huge.
It's huge,
Because it allows them flexibility in the offseason because they're going to make a move to try and keep Kawhi Leonard there.
of course. Yeah,
His,
Kawhi, if they can keep Gasol too.
his New Balance commercial came out, by the way.
And is it good?
It's pretty. He takes a shot at James Harden.
Oh, he does.
Yeah, he's like, it's something like, I don't have to chase fouls to be great, or something like that.
Oh, I
Like,
say, okay, I saw
It's
that.
pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
But no, Kawhi's interesting. I mean, I like he's the most boring person of all time. Naturally, why New Balance sponsored him.
Yeah, because no one else wanted it. And New Balance is like, hey, we make shoes.
At the media day, some reporter asked him, "Hey, can you give us a smile?" And he gave like, no, he just
That laugh?
he kind of just like smirked, and I was like, "That's the worst fucking smirk I've ever seen in my life."
Because he's never done it before.
That's it.
He doesn't know how to do it.
Doesn't know how to show his teeth.
No. But who do you think was the big winner on draft day?
Toronto for me is number 1. To get Gasol, Jeremy Lin's gonna help a lot. I mean, that whole starting lineup to me is unreal.
So I think Jeremy Lin helps in the regular season, but like, how much is a backup point guard?
Oh no, in depth, I think it'll help in the
but
playoffs.
depth doesn't matter in the playoffs in the NBA.
It's true. They're eating
Because
up all
you're
kinds
playing
of
six,
minutes,
you're playing 6 players
That's it.
for the bulk of the game, and like the Warriors now are like sharing minutes and taking fourth quarters off basically.
Yeah.
But in the playoffs, they play all game long.
So I mean, Toronto for me is number 1.
You don't think the addition to Tobias Harris for the Sixers?
That's a nice trade overall.
Yeah,
Because
it helped both teams.
Yeah, for sure. But Tobias Harris going to the Sixers, they have a legit starting 5 now, like top 5, and it's interesting. I mean, they're a team now. The East is open.
Yeah.
I don't know who's gonna take it now.
It's and it sucks because the finals is not what's interesting because we know who's going to win the finals.
Yeah.
But
I mean, we don't know.
we know. I mean, there's 4 Hall of Famers playing on the team.
Are we assuming they're Hall of Famers
They will
already?
be. They will be, absolutely. I mean,
All 4 of them.
So here's the thing.
Even Clay.
Clay has already made more 3-pointers than Larry Bird did in his career. So
Yeah, but Larry Bird played in a time where you didn't have to.
I understand. The amount of threes he's shooting is unprecedented. He's the best catch and shoot player in the NBA history.
I think he's up there for sure.
And Steph will be in there.
What about
Kevin
Green?
Durant, maybe not Draymond Green.
Draymond Green's the 4th one.
Draymond Green, he kind of did. He has the Chris Bosh role where he's the greatest sacrificer on that team. Like
Yeah.
he does all the dirty work and doesn't get stats that he would get playing on. Let's say if he was on the Bulls and was the only player putting up 20 and getting.
I think
15 rebounds.
he'll go down as like a very respected player, kind of like a Robert Ory, if that means
Yeah,
anything.
he's more talented than Robert.
He is, but Robert Ory's never going to make it no
Yeah.
matter how many championships he had. He's never going to make the Hall of Fame. So I don't see Draymond Green getting into Hall of Fame because of that comparison.
Yeah, that's
You never
fair. Why they have 3?
They have 3.
and one of them is a freak monster athlete who's unguardable by any human, and is likely the 2nd best player in the NBA.
Likely.
If not, if
Wait, you say KD?
yeah,
Oh,
yes,
I don't think so.
KD is the best shot maker in the league.
Steph Curry.
No, because
LeBron, Curry, for me.
Curry
Gianni.
can be guarded in the 4th quarter and cannot create his own shot
I guess
necessarily.
so.
Right, where KD can post up, he can get to the basket, he can shoot the 3, he can shoot over. Dude, like
I guess I just don't like him.
correct. But I mean, it's the whole Barry Bonds thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
he's a dickhead. He's also awesome. So
He's a great. I love Barry Bonds
me too, because I like assholes. I'm down with
because Barry Bonds was an asshole. KD's not an asshole. He's a baby. You know what I mean?
Fair.
He like whines.
Yeah.
He's not like fuck you. Like next question because it's stupid. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Not
he's
like the
not
Kobe
that
way.
guy. Yeah, he's not. Yeah,
My
not the
favorite Kobe
way.
quote of all time was they asked him during the finals, "Hey, where do you think LeBron's going to go next season?" And he said, "I don't give a fuck. It's the finals."
Good answer.
It was the best answer I'd ever heard.
The best answer.
And but when you go home at night, if you're that reporter, your wife left you, right?
For Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, like there's no chance. There's no chance. kind of moving on into the NBA / NFL. This is like a story that involves both. NBA commissioner, I was gonna say Sterling, but anyway, Adam Silver has been approached by the NFL owners to maybe make a run at being the NFL commissioner. The thing I don't understand is, and so like let's go back. Actually, let's go back to a clip I wanted to play earlier.
How much do you hate your boss when you've gone publicly and asked for a new boss?
And not only that, the thing is like, I mean, Goodell's done what they've needed him to do. He's been the meat shield, right? Like, he just takes the heat for all the things the owners want. Eagle, the clip where Giannis and LeBron are drafting their teams. So this is
my first pick in the second round. I'm going with Anthony Davis.
You
sure you want him to be your teammate?
I'm very sure of that.
Isn't that tampering?
No. Shots fired, and you're up.
Tampering rules does not apply on All-Star Weekend.
But can you imagine NFL owners and NFL players joking about tampering with NFL media members? Like, but like they've created a league in the NBA where the players are completely empowered.
Yeah.
And the NFL has created a league where they treat the players like they're absolutely replaceable parts.
Yeah.
And so they're like, okay, let's go try and get this super progressive guy, Adam Silver, who's basically said, I want gambling in my arenas now.
It's true.
And give us 1%.
And
also.
you can advertise on all our jerseys.
Yeah. Let's do it.
You can advertise the top of the backboard. So when for that camera angle, Squarespace is on everything on every single NBA team. It's crazy. I mean, he's done really good for the league, and Roger Goodell has done great for the NFL as well.
Absolutely.
Both for the same reason.
It just seems like a weird fit for the NFL owners to want.
No, I think Goodell needs to be there because there needs to be a firm hand there, or else if you let it happen, then Jerry Jones and Kraft are going to take over.
But how come that hasn't happened in the NBA? And we'll touch on Colin Kaepernick in a second. But the reason why there was no kneeling controversy in the NBA was they went to the bargaining table and said, okay, we'll make a trade. We'll figure out something. We'll give you something you need in collective bargaining. If you guys don't protest. And the player representative said part of the reason that they were willing to give that up was their own personal relationships with him were great.
Yeah.
So, like, it just seems
because we know that he's a progressive person.
Yeah.
We know that he's not going to tell you guys to not protest because he doesn't believe in the cause or whatever it is. But it's also a different league, so it's not as close to home as it is in the NFL with Kaepernick in the NFL. So I see it that way. But
I mean, it would have been huge, for example, if LeBron would have been the guy to protest. Because then what do you do? Because
exactly.
He's never done. I don't even think the guy has a parking ticket.
Because the comparison is LeBron is good where Kaepernick is not.
Well, but the thing is, it's also like it's the imperfect messenger versus perfect
exactly.
messenger, right? So like you and I have argued about Colin Kaepernick on the show continuously
ad nauseum.
But I don't think any of us can disagree that there's things happening that we don't agree with.
Of course, yeah. Absolutely.
In this world, whether it's in the United States,
absolutely.
in Canada, anywhere.
You should be able to protest whenever you want. If you're not doing it violently, you should be able to do whatever the fuck you want. If Eric Reid and Colin Kaepernick wanted to knee the rest of the year, they should have been able to.
Absolutely.
The message was sent completely the wrong way, and the message was sent the right way in the NBA.
Yeah, but let's move on.
But also
that.
the NBA is 90% African American.
The collusion case has never even went to court. It's settled out of the court.
Who looks worse here?
I have, in my opinion, I think public perception will be if you believed that there was collusion before, you'll take this as proof of collusion. And if you believe Colin Kaepernick didn't stand for his principles, then it's just gonna reaffirm what everyone believes going into this conversation.
No, not necessarily. Not for me.
Okay.
So for me, what happened was that not that I didn't believe that we had this conversation. Not that I didn't
huge
believe,
argument.
Not that I didn't believe that there was collusion. To me, it was never any clear enough distinction. Only that there was some sound clips and some article snippets and things like that of owners saying this that might lead to he's saying this because of this. So it was never really black and white. But where I see people think there was collusion, now the fact that they settled outside of court could be one of two things. One is we don't want this to get bigger than it actually is. Two is no matter how small this is, we can't give it more air. So that means there's something there. So at the end of the day, I think that good on him for getting the money that he maybe would have made or
Well, that
little
and
bit
and more, right?
And more, that's
'Cause
it.
There's no way he was going to make 80
But to
million.
me, I think that the bigger message would have been sent if him and Eric Reed stuck this out all the way to the end.
Correct, but like they're represented by lawyers. The NFL
Of course,
represented by lawyers. They were probably
They were showing the
they were
money and they took
advised.
it.
They were advised about what to do.
Yeah.
And I think both sides said, "Hey guys, NFL, you need to offer money. Colin, you need to take the money.
Yeah.
This is because then this goes away. And look, the awareness was raised.
Yeah.
We've been talking about it for 3 years, right? So the awareness was raised. Good on him. Excellent. He's done off the field. He's done amazing things. In terms of
Yeah,
raising
if this
money.
was about him kneeling, then I don't think he would have just given up that easy. But if it was because of they colluded for
But-
him not to play, then
exactly.
that's why.
But that's the message that's being lost here is we're not actually discussing this case was not about race, was not about race relations, was not about Colin Kaepernick's ability as a player. It was about how in a collectively bargained environment he was denied rights to play for a reason that they cannot deny a right to play.
Okay.
And the terms of the settlement are under NDA, so we're never going to figure out exactly, first off, how much money it was, even though it's rumored between 60 to 80 million. But also, just think about it, right? That amount of money for a guy who basically couldn't work, like he wouldn't have made that money over the years he would have played.
No. 5 million, 10 million max.
Which to me means that
If you
they
take
wanted.
that 1 year extension in San Francisco, he would have made 16 million.
But he didn't. But because of.
But that to me, that means that they wanted to make this go away.
Yeah.
So there's the possibility that if this went to disclosure instead of becoming publicly available, we might have another like Donald Sterling type of incident, but on the NFL side, and that would be disastrous for the brand, right?
Yeah.
So maybe there's something in the agreement that Kaepernick and Reed agreed to from next year. The NFL is going to put money into XYZ, right, or something like that. So we don't know exactly what it's going to be. We're just going to have to see it play out.
Yeah.
And 68 million, good on. I don't know. Is that how much he got or Eric Reed got? Like,
We don't know.
We don't know. Okay.
There's no way to know.
And good on Eric Reed because he's still playing.
Yeah.
Because he's good enough.
What's interesting though is,
And where Kaepernick is not.
it's a collusion case
Because he sucks.
that Eric Reed got part of the settlement, but he got a job.
That's the
So
part
I don't
that's
know
sketchy to
how,
me.
but that's the thing.
I think that because I think he included the drug testing.
But here's the thing: is the Players Association denied his claims that there was any impropriety with
Randomized drug testing?
with the drug testing.
weird.
So I don't know,
11
man.
times in
Like,
9 weeks or something like that?
and the thing is that even the players, usually the Players Association will back players no matter what.
Yeah.
So for them to side with the NFL is interesting.
Interesting.
So I don't know. None of us will know what the truth is.
They
when it
probably
comes to
said, we're going to give you this if you would just convince Eric Reed to take the settlement kind of thing.
it. Yeah.
Anyway, so should Roger Goodell be fired? This whole thing with David Portnoy.
What's interesting, yeah,
I want to buy that shirt. I'm going to buy it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd wear it.
And then we'll send him a hot sauce shirt. He sends us a Barstool
And
shirt.
they won't wear our shirt.
Absolutely
Hopefully they will though. Hey, if they want to sign us to Barstool, we
Oh, fuck, that'd be amazing.
we would gladly be the Kaepernick and Eric Reed of that cause.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah,
I'd be down for that.
of getting paid. But another dude who comes out looking bad when it comes to money management is Matt Kutcher. Have you heard of this story?
So $50,000 to his caddy?
No, well, originally, so what was typical in the past was caddies would get about 10% as a tip of the earnings.
Yeah.
Matt Kutcher won a tournament, won $1.3 million.
Hey.
Now it wasn't his normal caddy, and
Okay,
so
but he still won.
But he still won, and they had come to an agreement before the tournament saying, "I'll give you $5,000."
Okay.
But like, so
You won 1.3
I agree with my menu item. Like, if I buy a burger, I agree that it's $17 or whatever I'm overpaying for my burger.
Yeah.
And
nowadays it's not that
yeah,
bad.
I went out for a burger the other night. And I got so mad when I got the bill. I got so mad.
it
And I
wasn't
spent $100 on 3 drinks. And 2
Which-
burgers.
And it wasn't even a sesame bun, was it?
No.
Where was it?
It was a 12 Brasseur.
Oh, yeah.
They're not sponsors, so we can throw them in the
Yeah,
bus.
fuck you.
Yeah.
But if you want to be a sponsor,
Then in which case, I'm gonna buy lots of burgers.
if you want to be a sponsor, then unfuck you.
Yeah, unfuck yourself.
But what I do like that they have is that big jug. There
Yeah.
where you can have
Well,
like
we've
different-
shared one
Yeah,
before.
me, you, and the boys.
Yeah. But the thing is that I've agreed to that price.
Yeah.
Now, if I get good service, the tip is above and beyond, right? Now, personally, I am a sucker. I'm a very good tipper.
Okay.
I've worked in the industry. I believe in the industry. I want to help people, and so if people treat me well, I want to treat them well.
Sure.
So now looking at Matt Kutcher winning $1.3 million and just being like, here's the $5,000 we agreed to.
Yeah.
Dick move.
Yeah. It's true.
Okay, like, no one's saying you got to give 10% because that's an outdated rule.
That's it. Yeah.
But so anyway, so
Don't be
now-
cheap.
now he's come out. He's come up with a statement.
I want to hear this.
Kuchar's completely in the wrong here. He's not only completely in the wrong, he's so disconnected from what's right and what's wrong. He knows. His normal caddy, John Wood, remember, he won the Sony Open a month later. A month later in January, he won the Sony Open in Hawaii. I guarantee you his caddy, John Wood, got a lot more than $5,000. Now, the deal was $3,500 for the week. So he gave him $5,000, and he thought that's a great. Think about this: $1.3 million. His caddy made 0.38%. Now, when you go to a restaurant, and I understand Matt Kuchar said, yes, but $5,000 is a lot of money, and we had a number that we agreed on. If we go to a restaurant together, we agree on the price of the food. What we don't talk about is what you tip the wait staff, and in sense. Matt Kuchar didn't tip the wait staff, and what he offered to pay the guy was only after the story got out.
Any repercussions for Kuchar moving forward with I don't know, caddies or
to
anything
me,
on tour?
I feel bad for his caddy John Wood right now because you wonder how cheap is Matt Kuchar to his caddy. Matt Kuchar in the article said he still sleeps good at night after giving him $5,000. They're playing in Mexico next week, David. Sleep tight, Matt Kuchar. Dumb.
Dummy. So the thing is that I can't agree with the way he said it because he said we agreed to a price.
Yeah.
I didn't agree to tipping that waitress anything. I don't have to tip, right?
I think he was making less eloquently.
Yeah.
We've learned two things. One is that a lot of people see it the way I do in terms of the restaurant comparison.
Yeah.
And two is that I don't prepare well enough for the show and didn't know what was going on in that clip. But essentially, I think what he's trying to say is you agree with the price, you're going to pay the price no matter what.
Yeah.
But then you do tip at the end of the night, right?
Of course, yeah.
And I think that's what he's trying to say.
But do you tip caddies?
Yeah.
Or
It's like, you're supposed to tip them like a percentage of whatever you get. But
in the past, it was 10%.
People's caddies follow them, so they're like their best friends.
Right, but they're
So they're partners.
salaried or contracted, and then the tip is a standard process.
I think Tiger Woods used to has salaried his guy.
So they would usually make a percentage
Pay
of,
him like
of the cut.
$10 million a year.
So the thing is that
And these guys are good enough to play in.
but
the,
it's percentage of cuts or a fixed amount.
It's
so whatever you want. It's your job.
Either way. Well, because you don't know if you'll win, right?
Yeah.
So you're gonna give them like at least X amount. Like there's a bottom, like a
X
baseline.
or percentage.
And then you'll give over the top.
So but the thing is that it's their job, right? So you're hiring somebody. So whatever you've agreed to pay them, that's how much. Like I'm hiring a caddy, basically. I'm hiring a guy. I hire an electrician. How much is it? $550 for the day. I'm gonna clean all your pipes. Pun intended. Pun intended. So I agreed to pay this guy $550. He does an exquisite job. I give him an additional $50, make it an even number, $600. That's okay.
Yeah.
But now everybody's giving Matt Kuchar shit. Listen, he's cheap. It's clear that he's cheap.
Yeah.
But he didn't do anything wrong.
So he's since apologized.
But he didn't do anything wrong.
And given $50,000. But it doesn't matter what he gave him because now you're still cheap as fuck.
You're still
right?
cheap. Yeah.
He's always going to be known as a cheap bastard.
So being transparently cheap is probably my biggest pet peeve.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that he looks very cheap, but he didn't do anything wrong. He's just cheap.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong on what he did. He agreed to a
Agreed.
price,
Yep.
and then he gave him a little bit extra. He's like, fuck this guy. I'm going to save money. It's my hard work money. All you did was carry my fucking clubs.
Well, no. they tell you how the break is and which clubs to use.
I'm kidding.
But he might have also been a bad caddy. Is the other thing. We don't know. We don't know.
He was nowhere near as good as the homeless guy on Happy Gilmore. 100%.
That's for sure. Also, did Happy tip him?
He gave him clothes. He tipped him because he would start getting money. He would wash his hair.
So he basically got him some Head and Shoulders and some free swag from the PGA.
Fuck.
Seriously,
and
fuck
Subways,
that movie.
and Subways for life.
Yeah, he was getting for free anyway.
He was getting for free anyway.
Seriously, so now we know. We've learned two things. Matt Kuchar, cheap as balls.
Yes, he is. Absolutely.
Adam Sandler, also cheap.
Yes.
Now we know.
Happy Gilmore cheap, not Adam Sandler.
Happy Sandler's not cheap.
We got a great interview today.
Yes, we do. I'm very excited.
Qadr Spooner. Did I pronounce it right?
Qadr
Spooner. My bad.
We'll ask him.
We'll ask him. We'll get him on there. We'll ask him definitely how to pronounce his name. I'm looking forward to talking to him. CFL player.
Yes.
CFL guys are interesting because you get what you get with NFL players, except they actually say shit.
Yeah.
So I'm down. I can't wait. I love talking
personable.
offensive. I love talking offensive linemen.
Best.
They're the best interviews
Yeah,
of all football players. So when we come back, we're gonna talk to Qadr Spooner, and we're gonna get into some stuff on and off the field with him.
And you can subscribe. Yeah, you can always subscribe.
They get the shows, then they choose to listen to it or
subscribe
not.
on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and then follow us at Hot Sauce Sports on every social media.
No one, you can't be oversubscribed because that's not a word.
Exactly. So subscribe just the right amount of time.
Be a word.
You were playing with the Bombers last year.
Yeah. So I was originally drafted to the Bombers. I spent 2 years with them. I became a free agent as of Tuesday morning, and I got a call from my coach the night before saying that we haven't come to terms of making a contract with you, and you'll be entering free agency, and he hoped the best to me. Mike O'Shea, he really takes the time to call each player who's entering free agency and gives them an opportunity to get picked up, and he hoped to see me get picked up right away. Shortly the next morning, I got a call from my agent telling me that the Edmonton Eskimos was a team that showed the most interest, and a team that tried to pick me up a couple of times when I was on the Winnipeg Blue Bombers practice roster the previous years. So they always showed interest, and he really suggested that it would be a good fit for me or a good team that I should look into signing with. And so I ended up signing with them Tuesday as a free agency in the morning.
Are you going into a starting role, or are you going to have to compete?
Oh, absolutely. I have to compete. You can never guarantee those types of things. A starting role, I know that Edmonton has a couple of Canadians also who came out my draft year. They have Roy and another O-line, Azari. So, a couple of good players that I have to compete with, and a lot of guys with talent are out there. So, also playing with an ex-teammate of mine who played with me at Winnipeg.
Oh, nice.
And his name's Travis Bond, the big guy, probably the biggest, massive human you'll probably ever meet.
Yeah, he's like 6'8".
Qadr, how you've lived now in Edmonton and or you've lived in Winnipeg. You're going to be living in Edmonton, playing there. How do you like living out, sort of like the prairies in Canada?
The Midwest.
The Midwest of Canada.
I'm not gonna lie, man. The West is actually very interesting, very different. I think one of the biggest things that I do like about living out in the West is the English. When you're from Quebec and you're living in Montreal, and then you go out there in the West and everything is English, it really is a big change in the culture and just being able to communicate with everybody. It's really cool. I feel like the West is also have like very open family mentality. Like you go out there and you do feel like part of that community that you're joining, especially as a pro athlete. People welcome you with open arms, and they add you on Facebook and social media, and they reach out to you the moment of my signing right away. Winnipeg also reached out to fans from Winnipeg, reached out to me, and also fans from Edmonton. So it's a great place to be at.
It's always, but it's so funny with CFL players anyway. It's like whenever I see like a tweet like, oh, I got cut, but positive, whatever, all this stuff. You look at the comments, and there's never any negative comments.
Yeah,
I guess it's Canadians. It's always like, oh yeah, we loved you, man. Like,
it's never like, remember that penalty? Remember that holding penalty cost us a game? They'll never say that.
But if you played for the Dallas Cowboys and you got a holding penalty one time at the first game of the season, they're gonna hold it against you for the rest of your life.
Well, because also Dallas Cowboys fans only remember the past.
Yeah, that's me.
Qadr, I like offensive linemen. I love talking offensive linemen. One of the things that always fascinates me is because now you're in your off season, what you eating? Like what's a typical day like for like an offensive lineman? You don't gotta be careful right away. Like you got a few days before you get back into training or whatever. What's your diet like?
You're absolutely right. I know we do have to have a good diet because you want to obviously eat right for the most part, but cheating every once in a while does happen.
Every day.
I won't shy away from a couple of burgers here and now, but I just make sure that my training tries to compensate for those times that I do cheat.
And what's your go-to meal after maybe a game? Let's say?
After a big game?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I think one thing I can think of off the top of my head is when Burger Weeks happen and wherever I'm living. So you get to go to a random restaurant and you test out whatever burgers they have, maybe the keg.
Oh, the keg's nice.
Nice.
We were just talking about how Peeze overpaid for burgers this week.
Yeah, I've overpaid for everything. Though. I have a problem. The dumbest thing I've ever eaten, and we'll go around the room. I'll get Terry's too, and Qadr, I'll get you a chance to think of yours. The dumbest thing I've ever eaten, and I got to say, I was definitely under the influence. I made myself a lasagna sandwich. So lasagna is already like the sandwich of pasta.
So it's dumb because of the amount of carbs.
And then like made a grilled cheese sandwich. And put all of that in a sandwich press.
Oh, nice.
And then ate this big sloppy ass sandwich.
Fuck, man.
What was the dumbest thing you ever ate, Terry?
The dumbest thing I ever ate wasn't together. Okay, so I had a Nutella sandwich. I was experimenting with something.
Correct. Substances.
I had a Nutella sandwich, and then like an hour later, I had like a grilled cheese, and the cheese and the Nutella together left a bad taste in my mouth for like a week. I tasted it for like a week. It was the worst.
That's rough. What
about you?
I'll be honest with you guys, man. I play it safe when it comes to food, man. I want to know that my food tastes good. So like I don't cross those things. I think the most scariest thing I ate, I thought it was going to be really bad, is somebody put peanut butter in a burger.
Oh, I love that. I love peanut butter in burgers. Delicious. You're fucking wrong, Terry.
No, absolutely not.
Listen, I got me and Qadr Spooner. Both of us saying it's delicious.
Peanut butter and bananas.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Also good.
That's
So you've never had peanut butter surprise. One of the things I used to do when I used to get home like hammered out of my mind is open a jar of peanut butter, throw in a bunch of chocolate chips, and then fish them out with a spoon. That's peanut butter. I used to call it peanut butter surprise. Listen, man, I've had some rough nights.
So we just had Poutine week. So you like Burger Week? What about Poutine week in Montreal?
Man, see, I can't put myself in those types of situations because those are a lot of carbs to burn off, and one of my biggest things when I want to enter the season is I want to be in shape, so
yeah.
I don't want to get caught with too many poutines under my belt.
What we gotta do is when Qadr Spooner eventually retires, we gotta get him here and go on like an eating binge, the three of us.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
We'll invite Marco Brouillet too, since he just recently retired, but he's vegan.
Oh.
So we got to get a vegan poutine for him, that fake cheese.
Yeah, we'll just tell him it's vegan.
So just tell him it's vegan. That's a perfect line. Yeah.
So for those who don't know, Qadr, you're obviously a big dude. One of the jobs you did outside of football, you worked, as a lot of offensive linemen, defensive linemen have done, worked as a bouncer. What was the craziest moment you've had working in your life? Would you say it's in the locker room or in a club?
There you go.
Hey, two amazing environments. The club is one thing where you always have a story. Sometimes you just go back to your friends and you're like, guys, this is a crazy world we live in, And so when I work at the door, you get the best stories. You get to meet the most interesting, crazy people. And when kids come to the door and they're drunk already, they say the scariest things. You're just like, what's going on, man? What's wrong with you? And they let their real personalities come to light. So I think I might be working bouncer. I think that's probably the funniest moment.
So what do you like better? Pancaking a big D lineman or throwing somebody out that's drunk out of a club?
Throwing somebody out that's drunk, because they always come back. They come back in and they're just like, hey, man, I deserve to be in here. I spent all this money. You got to let me back in. And you got to explain to them that, man, it's probably best if you go home. And for the most part, they just want to be in this club drunk off their mind. So they always tell you the best, funniest things to get back in the club.
Yeah, for sure.
And, yeah.
I've been in a few bar tussles in my life. And and it was always the bouncers. I always either knew of them because of football. Like I remember I was at this one club in Montreal, and there was a little bit of a like pushing and shoving, but I don't want to get involved. And then a guy that I played football with at Vanier, he kind of sees that it's happening, so him and the entire crew just came and grabbed all those guys and threw them out real quick. And I was like, I feel kind of cool right now. I'm not gonna lie.
See, the weirdest moment I had was in Las Vegas. I was playing poker. This young couple shows up. They're smashed out of their minds. They're drinking that big Eiffel Tower drink.
Yeah.
That like
you get a Fat Tuesday.
Yeah. And so I then go to the washroom, take a leak, and in front of me, like walking into the washroom, that chick is passed out on the floor.
I love it.
So then I have to go back to the table and be like, dude, you need to go get your girl. She's passed on the floor of a men's room.
Of a men's room.
Of the men's room. So you need to go get her immediately.
I don't know how people get that fucking hammered, man. I've never been so drunk where I fell down
Seriously.
on my face and then not gotten up.
I mean, I'll fall in the chair and sleep there. But that's it.
Yeah. I would never want Qadr to follow me.
The funniest moments actually is when you see people come to the club and they've already done their pre-drink, and so they're so wasted. And living in Montreal, the street cleaning is terrible. There's ice all over, and so you see people looking as good as they can. They're making their walk to the door, and I just watch them fall and slip on the ice. It's scary because it's like sometimes you're like, oh, they get hurt, but they're so drunk that they don't feel anything. So it's absolutely funny just watching these people make their way to the door.
Yeah, girls wobble on the ice with the 6-inch heels.
Sometimes I'll just go on YouTube and watch like bar fights, and you'll see like two guys that think they're super tough, and then like there's some big bouncer that they're always super calm. The bouncers, I mean, for the most part, there's a few. I feel like Qadr is one of those calm guys. It's like, listen, just like calm down, you know.
Just chill. But
it's always like the bouncer's like, please, and then like somebody will come and run after him and try to hit him, and you'll just kind of like give him a stiff arm, and the guy will fall, and he'll try and get back up. So it's very funny to see how strong people think they are when they're drunk.
Yeah.
I know that's it's absolutely so funny.
I get dirty though. I just look for a weapon. What's close and what can I swing?
Yeah, there's always you that tries to pull up the street sign and it doesn't work.
No, and then they collapse on the street.
There's always the guy that's you.
And then there's always that guy that grabs a bottle.
Oh yeah, that too. So what are you doing right now? You're training. Where are you training?
So actually, right now I train at a couple of places. I train at Saint Claude, a track place in where is it? It's by the Olympic Stadium.
Yeah,
I also train at and I train at Mansfield. So those are my two main places I train, and they take care of me. Mansfield has a great facility overall. They have lots of good equipment. They have a great facility in the downtown location. Also living in and then living also on the South Shore, I get access to like another big location. So I get to do all my points, meet all the needs that I need to have a better season next year. Also, yoga classes and spinning classes are also a big thing with me.
Yoga, yeah.
Yeah, sadly, my biggest area of improvement is my flexibility. It's always something that big guys need to focus on. It helps you stay playing longer than if you don't stretch. So, yeah, it's a really important thing to do.
For sure.
I know it takes my mat feeling maybe away.
Might be useful.
Yeah, but like I remember the first time I tried yoga, I'm like, this is gonna be easy shit. And then like within 5 minutes, there's a puddle of sweat.
Yeah, it's hard, man.
And I was like, this is dumb. I'm never doing this again.
I used to do it religiously. Yeah, it's good. Honestly, you feel great after yoga too. So I figure for guys that play football, especially professionally, you're getting a lot of bumps and bruises, and your hips get tight. And for an offensive lineman, I'm sure you need to be very mobile. Even though people think because you're big, you don't have to be super mobile, but you have to work on your mobility a little bit harder every single time because you are a bigger guy. So doing yoga, I'm sure that helps a lot.
Qadr, what's your favorite football movie?
Ooh, favorite football movies, hands down. Remember the Titans.
Really? Yeah,
that's solid.
See, I've memorized Remember the Titans.
Really?
Yeah, memorized.
That makes you the least cool
person.
Exactly. For me, it's Longest Yard. I love Longest Yard.
What?
I've always been a fan of Longest Yard. I love it. It's a good movie.
The original one?
The one with Burt Reynolds. Yeah, the original.
He's in both of them.
He's in both of them. Yes, it's true. The original. Yeah.
Nobody has a soft spot for Sandra Bullock and Blindside.
Oh my God, it's terrible.
No, I hate
Michael
Blindside.
Oher even hates that movie.
I didn't like Blindside. I love Varsity Blues. For me, is like very underrated. So Remember the Titans, I memorized it, but Varsity Blues is really underrated. How funny it is. Like Tweeter.
I won't lie. I won't lie. Remember, Blindside is actually my second most favorite movie.
Dude,
it's really funny.
It's because he's an O-lineman.
That's fair.
He can relate.
It's so rare that O-linemen get spotlighted, right?
Yeah.
There was a comical one called Necessary Roughness.
Necessary Roughness.
Yeah, it's terrible, but I love it.
It's a movie.
Yeah.
What? I never heard of that.
Yeah, me neither, man. What about the? I love the program. The program is for me was unreal.
The program.
What's the long-term plan for you, Qadr? Like you're currently in Edmonton. You thinking, the CFL's gone well so far. You think you're maybe get invited to some NFL camps, or are you fully committed now playing in the CFL?
I'm committed to the CFL. I'd love to. I mean, playing football is just an honor. Not a lot of guys get the opportunity to play football, to get to go play pro. It's funny. In my draft year, my first rookie year, I got into University of McGill, and I played with a guy named Malagueta Tardif, and he's in the NFL right now. He's doing great in his craft, and he's also a doctor. So and that was and Jesse Briggs that year. 2 guys are the only guys that got drafted, and 4 years after I got drafted, and then now 3 years in the league, no one from my university has been drafted or even picked up. And so it just shows you the small number of athletes that get that opportunity to play pro. So, I mean, I can't say I'm just happy to play at this level. So
For sure.
It's an honor.
And you guys in that McGill team, I remember you guys, all 3 of you guys, everybody knew you were going to get drafted, and a lot of people had all 3 of you guys getting tryouts in the NFL. But now you looked at McGill, and McGill's kind of fallen off a bit, and I feel like the new U Sports, I guess they call it, CIS, it's kind of slowed down, where Concordia looked good for a while, but now they've kind of slowed down too. Laval used to be this powerhouse, not so much anymore. So you're watching, is it because people are leaving to go to NCAA, or is it because just the talent maybe isn't as good? Maybe we're hitting kind of like a gap where the talent isn't as strong.
Oh my God, that's a really good question. Honestly, I wish I had the answer, because then we can help focus on changing those things. It's just a variety of different things, and guys knowing what to do to get to that next level. Just it's a really hard path to get to, and there's so many things that affect it. Like McGill University, it's so hard to recruit certain athletes because it's an academic school, and they don't make that many exceptions. Just to get into the university, your R score has to be extremely high, your GPA has to be high, and then you have slim pickings from there, and then a lot of things change. So
I know a lot of guys that played tackle in McGill, and it was mostly for school. I mean, they knew they weren't going to make it. They're good players, obviously not good enough to play pro, but they knew they were going there for an education, and to take advantage, they're going to play football. So, and good on them. Obviously, whatever you can do to further whatever you want to do in life, but for the most part, it's like you said, it's a very small percentage. I know the numbers for hockey. In hockey, 1% of Quebec players get drafted into the Q. And then out of those 1% players, 1% of those guys get drafted into the NHL.
And that's a league where the pipeline is through the province of Quebec.
Through the province of Quebec, through Canada specifically.
Yeah.
So just to give you an example. And so it's really tough to play professional sports. And for those who do, obviously we commend you, and we enjoy watching you. So
we're with Qadr Spooner. He's joining us on Hot Sauce Sports. He plays with now signed with the Edmonton Eskimos, previously of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Qadr, thank you for joining us today. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Best of luck in the upcoming season, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Take care.
And you can subscribe. Yeah, you can always subscribe.
They get the shows, then they choose to listen to it or
subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and then follow us at Hot Sauce Sports on every social media.
No one, you can't be oversubscribed because that's not a word.
Exactly. So subscribe just the right amount of time.
Be a word. That grave pretty deep. Unsigned at the moment, Manny Machado and Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
Why do you think that's the case?
Okay, so this is I've been going through this.
Oh wait, isn't Eagle supposed to give us the topics?
Yeah, you want to do that, Eagle? No. So
Repeat
repeat
the
what we
question.
just said. Repeat what you said.
Well, you already did it.
Just fucking repeat
do it. Do your job.
I hate you guys.
Okay.
Machado and Harper. Machado and Harper remain unsigned. Why?
Okay. Thank you, Eagle. I appreciate that. I would not know the question if you didn't repeat it.
Exactly.
Because you sounded very stupid.
Exactly. Because I always do. Except when I say Qadr.
Qadr. So I don't think they're signed because people don't want the Miggy Cabrera contracts anymore and all that shit. Because they're like, we can get the return from somebody else.
Yeah.
If you look at look at the best players in the league last year, okay? Yeah, a few of them make money. But like Christian Yelich, he's not one of the top eight. Yelich, he's not one of the top 8 players in the league. One of the best.
Well, I don't understand. Of all the Marlins moves, that's the one that makes no sense. He had a great contract, and he's a great player.
Yeah.
Why did you trade him?
Because you got a lot for him. But what do you anyway? It's beyond me.
So there was an article that came out 2 weeks ago with the Marlins.
Yeah.
That they're the only franchise in their of their top 25 players.
Yeah.
That traded 23 of their top 25. And one of them, the reason why he wasn't traded was Jose Fernandez, who died.
So one guy wasn't traded.
That guy, I don't even know who it is.
That guy is going to be the fucking new manager of that team. So I just don't think that they feel the need to pay that much money.
Yeah.
For
So
guys,
I also have
like Bryce Harper.
I also have
28.
some information, some
Inside information.
Inside information.
Ooh, I like it.
So apparently Bryce Harper was offered $300 million by the Nationals.
Okay.
And Scott Boras promised him that he would make more money than Giancarlo Stanton. So they've been desperately trying to get $326 million to have $1 million more,
and nobody wants to
than
give him
Giancarlo Stanton, and nobody wants to give him $326.
So Giancarlo signed it. The thing is, I understand the argument because he's younger than Stanton was when Stanton signed that contract. So I can see the argument, but overall, for me, Machado and Harper are two of the top 5 in the league. But do you need to pay them that much money, like, for the return?
Well, here's my question is, so Bryce Harper has had 100 RBIs once in his career.
No, Bryce Harper's a great player.
He's a very good player.
Great player.
But now what happens, I think we can all agree, Mike Trout's a better player.
Yes.
What's Mike Trout going to be worth on the open market?
400.
It has to be, right?
He's going to be
worth the first $500 million.
Well, that's if Bryce Harper signs for 326 or whatever it is. Then he'll get 350 or 390 no, that's to be the most at that point, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, Mike Trout is the best player in the league. I think a lot of people will agree, but I don't think Bryce Harper and Machado are worth $325 million.
Well, they're worth whatever people
would pay for.
So, but now, if he goes back groveling to the Nationals, is the offer still $300 million?
No,
That's
absolutely
my question.
not. I think 275.
So they might get a discount though. That'd be interesting.
They might, or they might be. Scott Boras is a very good agent, and I'm sure he'll be able to get.
What he does well is he convinces owners, because he doesn't deal with GMs.
Yeah.
He deals directly with the owners.
Yeah, he's one of the few.
And he convinces the owners that there's a giant market and everyone's trying to get this player. But at this point, can he even the great Scott Boras convince anyone?
No, because we're getting into spring training, and he doesn't have a team yet.
All right, next topic. Sunday, February 17th, Talking Stick Resort Arena in Phoenix, Arizona. Ooh. We have the UFC on ESPN, Ngannou versus Velasquez fight.
So this is Cain Velasquez's return. Mm-hmm. He hasn't fought.
It's like 2 years.
It's about 2 years. He hasn't fought. To me, best heavyweight of all time. Mm-hmm. If not second best, whatever. Fuck rankings, right?
Yeah. You're dumb.
But he's facing Ngannou, who's coming off 2 losses. And to me, Ngannou is the biggest hype train that'll never get to.
Well, and Ngannou got exposed in his last match.
Yeah, he got exposed against Stipe. He got exposed against
Stipe is the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, and against Derek Brunson as well, Derek Lewis as well. And so, I mean, I just think that this is a perfect fight for Cain. It's a terrible fight for Ngannou.
But so, my question is: do you think Cain Velasquez is healthy? Yeah. B, is he in the right conditioning? Because I agree, if all things are even, this shouldn't even be close.
100%.
But is he healthy enough? Is his conditioning at the point where it's strong enough that he can take advantage of Ngannou? And thirdly, at 36 years old, is he still the same fighter now, having taken 2 years off?
So 36 years old for heavyweights doesn't mean anything, because all the heavyweights are all over 30. It's very rare because they're all ex-football players, ex-boxers that want to do something else, maybe wrestlers. It's very rare you'll get a really good heavyweight under 30. Okay, so automatically you're starting
over 30, get that excuse to put on that chunk.
That's it, exactly. So Cain Velasquez, who weighed in a hoodie and jeans, by the way, usually you take off all your clothes. Cain Velasquez was always known for his conditioning. He comes out of the AKA gym with Daniel Cormier, Khabib, Michael Chandler, and it's a great team. And they're known for their grind, for their to push, the cardio. They're known for that shit. So Cain Velasquez has never had an issue with his cardio. Round 4 against Junior Dos Santos, I'll never forget it. And I just watched the fight again recently because I forgot it. And fourth round, he was just chilling. Like, it was his first round, and Junior Dos Santos is busted up. They ended up calling the fight. So I mean, I'm not worried about his conditioning. I'm more worried about maybe a little ring rust.
And ringworm, perhaps.
Octagon rust.
All right, Zion Williamson, definitely a biblical name, and this heavenly block. Have you guys seen this?
Oh yeah, it's nice.
I feel like you didn't cue it up properly. Are we watching the whole game?
I don't think that's it.
Yeah, you were supposed to cue it up though.
I did.
All right, so the block.
It's there. I don't know when it is though.
Hold on, let's try this again.
Let's do it.
Totally had it.
Man, I tell you, when the production staff's not here.
I had it. It's that.
I don't know if that's the same one though.
It is.
Whatever, it's all good. Yeah, there it is. This is it.
You know what? It auto-cued into the next one.
That's what it is. Go back.
All right, we got this.
Thanks, Eagle. Appreciate it. This is great TV.
Yeah, very happy right
What
now.
a catch.
Oh, yeah.
Williamson
Oh my
on
God,
Guy. Huff, the kick, open again is Hunter. Never mind. Zion Williamson with other ideas.
That is called a recovery.
That is also called
To me, what's most
ridiculous.
impressive is how far he jumped from.
How many guys his size
Not that he
could
was able
run
to
that
get up and
far,
knock
jump
out a
that
three-pointer
high,
completely
block
out
a
of
shot and
bounds.
not commit a foul. Mr. James.
And not
King
commit a foul.
James, you're
Mr.
talking
LeBron
about?
James
Yeah.
can do
Crazy.
it.
That's impressive to me. Very
Well,
impressive.
so that-
I mean, I
let's-
can do that.
Yeah. So like
Maybe a midget.
Zion Williamson was in high school last year. If people looked like that in my high school, like I would have gotten like a paper route to have extra lunch money to give. I mean, that dude, he's
Well,
a
what
monster.
makes you think he's a bully? He's a nice guy.
I just would give to him anyway.
Here, sir, you need
just
it.
in case, sir. You look like you need lunch more than I do. Although Zion Williamson looked like he didn't skip a lot of lunches before he got to.
No, in high school he was a
to-
little chunky for sure, but
Yeah.
I think that going to college, it's probably a conversation they had.
Hey, by the way, we're not
Way up.
shaming Terry and I.
Oh, no, I mean,
no, listen,
clearly.
we're body positive right
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
We're
right.
body positive.
We're
as
what's
we
that?
smash pastries between breaks.
Yeah, what's that ad? The Dove one. What do they call it? You want one?
No, I'm good. Thank you. I've eaten
You
it.
said pastry.
We're doing
I
a show.
got,
at
I
the
got
moment.
triggered. What's that ad? The Dove where? Oh, fuck, what is it? Body positive? Is that what it's called?
Sure.
We're body positive.
Yeah.
Whatever you are and you look like, we agree.
All right, next topic. Tiger Woods, great in forest areas, really bad in Mexico.
What the fuck is the relation?
So, the thing, Tiger's always he's not won this tournament ever, even in his prime.
It's because Tiger Woods likes blonde-haired women, and there's none of those in Mexico.
Correct. He doesn't know where to stick his burrito.
Where to stick his club.
Yeah, we're talking about penis.
Where to put his balls in
It
which
wasn't
hole.
clear.
Yeah.
No, it's a weird thing. It's he came into today ranked 55th. Like he's out of it. He's not gonna make a run. It's not gonna be that magical weekend. And the thing
It
is,
doesn't have to be. He probably takes this one off. It's okay.
I guess, yeah,
It's okay.
It
He knows he has a few tournaments left, so he's not going to go balls out for the one in Mexico.
yeah. No, I'd love to see him wearing a T-shirt that says "Balls Out for Mexico." Like it's a fundraiser. Balls Out for Mexico.
And
Balls
last topic for this week, a little preview of March Madness. So they haven't actually selected all the teams yet, but we're all picking Duke, right?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
I never go for the top seeds.
They
And
have
I always do well.
They have more NBA players than Brooklyn does at the moment.
We're just going to give Duke all of the bottom seeds. Like the lowest seed in each match, we're going to give him those ones.
My brother?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got very confused because
Yeah. Oh, no.
Duke
Yeah,
is a
you said-
producer.
I didn't even fucking pick up on that. It's bad.
Yeah. I was very confused.
Maybe
I was
less
like, how are we giving a team bottom seeds?
Maybe
Like,
less recreational supplements for this guy.
yeah, seriously.
So what we're gonna do here, because it is hot sauce sports, there's gonna be a little bit of spicy challenge associated with your brackets. We're gonna put together a system that the loser of all the March Madness, maybe, will have to consume something on a spicy scale equivalent to the points that the winner accumulates through his bracket.
So we'll do this. We'll do this when I get back from Savannah. I'm looking forward to going to Savannah. I'm done with this winter. But I feel like I'll have an advantage because when I get here, I'll probably still be very drunk.
And you would have been in Atlanta, well, Savannah, Georgia, where the food is already a little bit extra spicy, so you'll have built a tolerance.
It's actually not.
Maybe you should bring back some spice from Savannah.
I can. I probably will. Actually, I'm not doing. I'm only doing carry on, so I gotta be a small container.
Well, was it super spicy when you went to Bolton's in Nashville? Because when I went, it was fucking
I got
spicy.
the extra spicy one too.
I didn't get the extra spicy
I
one.
want
got
balls out.
I went. There's a regular one. My brother got the extra spicy one. Like
It's
a fucking
it is,
idiot.
It is hot.
I got the
Well,
regular one. and it
You know
was
what?
hot, but
I'll
you put
say.
the ranch
I'll
on
say.
it.
As opposed to Hattie B's overrated.
I
Go to
didn't go to Hattie
Bolton's.
B's.
Go to Bolton's.
But which one did you
Oh,
go to?
Bolton's. I went to the one in East Nashville, the original. I met the owner. I met Mr. Bolton, not Michael Bolton.
I don't know which one I went to.
He was like a 70-year-ld dude. He just asked me, like, just hanging out outside. He's like, "Hey, did you like it in there?" I said, "Yeah, it's really good." And he says, "Well, I'm Mr. Bolton. This is my establishment."
So you met Mr. Bolton, but his name is not Michael.
His name is not Michael Bolton.
I feel like there's a mistake here.
Yeah.
But he, nice dude.
Yeah.
It was really awesome. It was insanely hot.
It was hot.
But like, it's not like my stomach didn't hurt after. I was
No,
good.
yeah, I was okay with that.
It was good. Hattie B's, you're just gonna go to the hospital. It's dumb.
Fuck it.
It's not the
My
same.
favorite restaurant in Nashville that I went to. Actually, speaking of Nashville, our guest last week, Robbie Trimp, just got back.
Nice.
He loves it there.
Yeah.
I was texting him, and it's an amazing city. I love that city. But Jack's on the strip,
Jack's is pretty good.
unbelievable.
Jack's did.
Loved
It's just, they do like barbecue from different areas, so it's pretty fun.
There was also a breakfast spot that I went to. I forgot the name of this.
We'll talk more about other spots next week. For Terry Tam, I'm Peeze, Eagle. Fuck you, Duke, and Punta Cana. Hope you enjoyed your trip. When you get back to fucking work. This is Hot Sauce Sports. Thank you for watching.
Very aggressive.
Oh yeah, subscribe! You've been listening to Hot Sauce Sports.